when I began my career, one of the things that they would teach a young geologist or send him to was something called a scout check. Now, scouts were company-sanctioned spies. Every company had one. It was all above board. And they would, throughout the week, they would gather information for their company's activity. And then once a week in different cities, in regions across the country, they would sit down at a conference room table and go around the table and report the activity of the wells that their company was participating in or drilling that week. And it was everybody's job to share that information and to get that information. And you learned the terminology, the abbreviations, because you had to write this down as fast as they could talk. And believe you me, they talked fast. When they finished with those books, or when they finished taking those notes, those books were put on Greyhound buses and shipped back to the home office or the district that were then unloaded to the secretaries and the technical staff, and then they were translated or transposed either by typewriter or by hand to another series of scout books that were put on the shelves for all the geologists to examine and keep up to date with. Once that was done, the books were put back on the Greyhound bus and sent back to the scout in the corresponding or the representative division. And then weekly, we would have something we would call sort of like a scout check amongst the geologists, where we would describe all the activity that was taking place in our region for our areas of interest and any new activity of any wells that had been drilled, where those wells were drilled, the depths, the mud weights, whether the wells were cored, what logs were run, whether the wells were tested. Sometimes we got the test results, but it was a sharing of information across the industry that at the time, the industry shared it, I think, to make the size of the pie bigger, market share, increase everybody's market share, because the market was going to increase. I don't see that today so much. And it kind of changed in the mid-'80s, where the sharing of that information wasn't as free, and it became more of a competitive advantage to have that knowledge. So things changed. It used to be, or at least within Amoco, that you never stood in the way of getting a well drilled. If a submittal hit your desk, you had 30 days to respond to get an answer back to the person submitting the proposal, whether you were going to participate or not on the drilling of a well, because the attitude was everybody benefits from new information on wells across the United States.